their house for 158,000 in Los Angeles. So let's break this down. Let's see what she got going on. We talking about gentrification. These YT people, they doing tight things. Let's see what they got.
He just finished building a house for under $200,000 in LA. Now, in a city where the average home cost is $940,000, this is quite a feat. And once she had the permits, the construction only took 3 months. So today we're going to learn how she built not one, but actually 2 ADUs in her.
Let's talk about it. She built 2 homes. The average price of a home in Los Angeles is 900,000. She built 2 of them for 158 in less than 3 months. Now they're ADUs, which means they're back houses, but still pretty dope.
In her backyard, how much money she's able to rent these out for, the big mistakes she made along the way that cost her tens of thousands of dollars,
and why some people aren't a fan of these houses being built.
First, let's see what you can build for under $200,000 anyway. This is Krista's backyard. You can see the 1,500 square foot main house, the house that actually used to be a garage that they converted into a small house, and the brand new construction ADU. So while this is technically a studio, it actually lives a lot more like a 1-bedroom because the bedroom is off on its own little hallway, which is really clever actually. It's funny because this is a similar square footage to my apartment, but this feels way bigger. Like the kitchen is so much bigger than my kitchen.
Question, I want to know from the chat. If you live in a ADU right now, do you like living in an ADU? Secondarily, would you live in an ADU if you already don't? Let's say your rent was $1,000. Would you live in an ADU? This looks nice, by the way. Let's keep it a buck. This looks nice. This looks super nice. This looks crazy.
It's truly like a full-size kitchen. I'm so jealous. All the finishes feel really modern, and I was kind of wondering, for under $200,000, is this going to feel really cheap? And it doesn't. It's nice that the bedroom feels really separated, like a true 1-bedroom, even though it's a studio, and there is even a little outdoor space. So I think it turned out really nice. Like, I would totally live in this. So let's learn how Krista got started in all of this.
So my first experience was when my husband and I purchased this home in 2018. We were looking for something that had an old garage, ideally on the property. So that was really the first step for me, was just to find an opportunity. Around 2020, I renovated the garage in the backyard. I
want to go back. This is exactly what I'm talking about, bro. These people, y'all going crazy. I would definitely live there for a band. An ADU with street parking? Hell no. Listen, we was just talking, if you just now done, we was just talking about gentrification. And this is the mindset I'm talking about, bro. She just said, me and my husband were specifically looking for a house with a garage style. They're looking to come in and convert, bro. They're looking to come in and take advantage of the shit that Black people take for granted, bro. My grandma had a backyard. Guess what? It was a storage. She was hoarding. She used it as a storage instead of saving up her coin and doing something dope like this. It's a mindset, bro.
425 square feet. It became midterm rental, and it's been really, really popular. It took about a year and a half. It actually took longer to build than it should have.
I'm gonna let it play. I'm sorry. And she's Airbnb-ing it out. She's not even renting out. She's Airbnb-ing that bit, man.
Because I went about it the wrong way.
Oh,
so I had a lot of
I'd love to learn from you.
Yes. At the very beginning, I was trying to build the unit as cheaply as possible.
Basically, Krista didn't pull permits, and she hired a handyman instead of a general contractor to convert the garage.
Our neighbors right beside us, they were getting inspected at the time. Yes. So the inspector was up on the 2nd floor, and he could clearly see down in the backyard of this home that there was a porta potty outside. There was a lot of activity going on.
What's going on over here?
So he could tell, he looked at the address in the system, he could tell that we obviously didn't pull any permits. And that is when a few hours later, I had a cease and desist work permit on my gate outside. And they basically said you have to stop all activity and you have to go through the formal process of pulling permits with the city of Los Angeles.
So she had to demo everything and start over completely. But in the end, it was all for the best.
So when the inspector came to do the final inspection and say that the home is finished, he mentioned that when he first came to the ADU back when the handyman was still working on it,
I feel like I should start doing videos like this. Like, this is a dope 10-minute video that like I could produce for sure.
said that there were pipes in the ground that were supposed to be gas pipes that were actually never meant for the ground. They should never be under soil, and various other concerning things like that.
Yeah.
So in the end, I'm very.
Did y'all see that? Am I tripping? What the hell?
To do the final inspection
Look at this shit right here.
and say that the home is.
They just popped a little Maybelline thing up on there. Bro, they get money, gang. They get money.
Is finished. And he mentioned that when he first came to the ADU, back when the handyman was still working on it, he said that there were pipes in the ground that were supposed to be gas pipes that were actually never meant for the ground. They should never be under soil, and various other concerning things like that.
Yeah.
So in the end, I'm very, very grateful that that was my first learning. And now I know that all of my
I don't
brand
know.
new construction ADU. She actually had a very clever reason for keeping it under 500 square feet.
So this accessory dwelling unit is
500 square feet is nasty though.
just under 500 square feet, because anything over 500, you pay school taxes and school fees.
Oh, that's good to know.
So-
Those are hefty. Those can be.
That's
yeah.
right. I was quoted around $5,000. So
Oh,
it is
yeah.
a
Significant.
savings. Yes. So the architect originally drew this up for about 525 square feet. And then he had the conversation. That's the first time I found out about the school fees. And he mentioned that's something we could do. So I said, that's a great idea. Let's go in that route.
And if you're curious as to why this is, it's because school fees are really just intended to help fund schools that are impacted by new development. But they figure that a home that's only 500 square feet likely wouldn't have any kids living there, so there wouldn't be any school enrollment. So the city doesn't make them pay.
And then do you remember how the costs break down?
So before any construction started, I had a survey done of the property that was around, I believe, $2,300 just to confirm the setbacks. And then outside of that, the permit costs were over about a year and a half.
Yeah.
It was a few $1,000s, maybe around $2,500, I would say. The permitting took much longer for this unit than it normally should in Los Angeles. And then for the construction of the actual ADU, it was $158,000. And that included all of the materials, including flooring, cabinets, countertops, appliances, all of the finishes that you see, tile, toilet, the vanity. So basically everything.
Here's how the costs break down for something like this. She spent $3,800 on an architect. The foundation was $10,000. Framing and roofing, $20,000. The rough electrical, plumbing, and HVAC was $18,000. To get the drywall, stucco, and installation done, $24,000. All of the flooring and tile total.
This is where y'all start getting scared right here when they start talking about this money. It's where people start leaving the chat. I want to say, now that I'm 158,000, I guarantee she got two of them, right? But I want to know how much she's making, because how long does it take to make her money back? That's the question.
To $10,000. The finished electrical and plumbing was $14,000. Painting, $6,000. All the doors and windows were $3,500. Cabinets and countertops, $6,500. Really not bad considering it's such a big kitchen. And the shower enclosure was $3,000.
And then outside of that is the solar. And I chose to hire a company that cost around $5,500, which was the minimum amount of panels that the plans called for.
Oh, so does the city require it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. So for my first ADU, it was a garage conversion. So the city of LA does not count that as a new construction building. So I did not have.
Solomon De Niro said painting 6K. Bruh, y'all got to realize how much this must be costing, bruh. This is not the 99-cent store. It get real out here. Shit costs. What boss? You want to be the boss? Yeah, I gotta pay the price. Nigga, pay the price.
Have to have the solar company come out and install panels. But for this one, it's a ground up new construction ADU. So yes, it did have to have solar panels.
But yeah, you don't have to get like a ton in batteries and all these things.
Exactly. And all of the bids that I got for solar, they of course wanted to sell me, 10 to 15 panels, backup battery, like all of these extra things. But at the end of the day, my plans called for, I believe it was like 5 panels. So that's all that I got, just because it's such a small home and the utilities are here for one person living will be very low.
So I'm sure you guys are wondering how much this makes when it's rented out. Krista actually rents this right now as a midterm rental on Airbnb.
Let's talk about the Airbnb side of it. What is the pricing like on Airbnb? Does it fluctuate for different times of the year? Is it always kind of the same?
It does fluctuate. Yeah. So summer is actually the peak season.
Okay, yeah.
So for the original ADU, I've charged anywhere from $3,800 to $4,000 a month during the summer months.
Mhm.
And then
She charged $3,800 to $4,000 a month. That's a little under what, 60? $48,000. I lied. $48,000 only for the summer months though, so it's about 3 months. Jeez Louise.
then the winter tends to be a little bit slower. So Jan through March, it will be rented for about $3,300 to maybe $3,500 per month.
Mhm.
So I expect this unit to fall in line with that.
Yo, Solo said she hiring a company, shaking my head. Hector and Jose doing it for 60% cheaper. Bingo! Listen, man, you ain't lying. But let me ask you a question. Is Hector and Jose gonna do it the right way, bro? Y'all seen that house that just blew up in Long Beach? Don't have my ADU blowing up because you want it to be 60% cheaper.
That pricing, this one is a little bit bigger. So I feel like it should be pretty similar.
So at an average of $3,500 per month, it should take actually less than 4 years to get a full return on this investment. Of course, it's possible there will be vacancies.
Wow, that's incredible. That is absolutely incredible. 4 years to make all your money back, and then after that, you scot-free. I mean, obviously after expenses, but what's the overhead? It can't be crazy.
So it'll likely take a little bit longer, but still, that's amazing.
I know you've done midterm rentals. Would you ever think about doing like a long-term renter if someone wanted to?
I've had tenants book through Airbnb for 30 plus days at a time, and they were amazing guests. And for a few tenants that have booked originally on Airbnb, yes, absolutely. If they are good tenants, which almost everyone has been fantastic so far, absolutely, I will allow them to extend. The reason I don't generally like the long-term route is because there have been times I put a hold on the unit when friends or family come to stay, and I like the option to be able to use the unit throughout the year if we have people come and stay. So that is one thing that you don't have the option for if someone is staying for 1+ year.
So yeah, you use it a bit personally for friends and family.
That's right.
That's like a really good use then to do midterm.
So this is a really great setup for Krista, but not everyone loves a.
Hold on, y'all. Watch this. They messed up. Look at this.
You use it a bit personally for friends and family.
That's right.
That's like a really good use then to do midterm.
So this is
all right. Peep. Y'all see that? Y'all see that right there? It's blurred out. Okay. But I seen it where it wasn't blurred out. It's somewhere on here it wasn't blurred out. Where it's at? I'm gonna see. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it. Motherfucker, I seen it. They got one on here where it's not blurred out, bro. They lucky I ain't got the time, man.
This is a really great setup for Krista, but not everyone loves ADUs. They're actually a little bit controversial.
Most of the criticism of people who don't want other neighbors to build these ADUs are people that are worried about street parking. Because in a neighborhood like this, for example, these houses are technically allowed to build ADUs, but there really is not a lot of street parking over here. So I could kind of see that. However, in Krista's case, there was a ton of street parking, and then she also had parking spots on her land as well. She had like 4 parking spots probably. So a lot of people just don't want the neighborhood to change. And I could kind of see that if a neighbor built a 2-story ADU and you only have a 1-story house, that would be kind of annoying. But I think as long as it's the same level as the similar houses, it's fine. And the fact of the matter is, whether the neighbors like it or not, it's legal to do in a lot of places in LA. So even if the neighbors don't like it, technically it is legal because the city wants to incentivize people to just build more housing units.
And Krista found in her experience, her neighbors didn't have a problem with it.
How has it been received over here, I guess?
So I know so many of the neighbors on my block. I have their cell phone numbers. I'm very involved in neighborhood activities. And so I've been very vocal from the beginning that we are building an ADU the first time and then the second time. But what I tell the contractors, it's the same thing I tell the guests who stay in these homes, is that I know the neighbors on all sides of the home and I know them personally, I care for them, and I want to respect them. So whether it's noise or dirt or dust.
Okay, I think this is dope, man. I think this is absolutely dope. I remember, and I talk about it all the time, when I used to be a mailman in Long Beach, a lot of the Long Beach residences I would deliver to had back houses. And I remember I walked in one day and I seen this lady with her husband and they were selling a home. And I was so interested in buying a home and because you think about it, you get a home, you put a down payment, you own the home now, right? Off of a down payment, first time buyers, what is it, 3-5%, whatever it is. You take that and you have enough space to have multiple lots on the background. Now you got this mini business going. Not saying it's going to be perfect, but in the world of real estate, Grant Cardone says it, one doe, no go. Don't be a one doe hoe, meaning don't buy real estate and rent it out when you just have one unit. You always want to set yourself up to have multiple units. And I'm that type of guy, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, we're building Suburban, this media company. But a big thing for me is, I'm going to live in a luxury apartment. I don't care what nobody says. I want to go to a luxury apartment. I don't have a house. I'm obviously young. I don't want a home. I don't got kids. Give me a luxury apartment, but I'll buy homes and rent them out in multiple sectors. I think LA is a little tricky because, there's rules around it when it comes to Los Angeles, California real estate. For instance, you can move in and you don't have to move out. It's illegal to kick people out and things like that. And so it could get a little bit sticky when it comes down to West Coast investments. But at the end of the day, I think this is dope. She built not a house, but an ADU. Obviously, the title's a little bit misleading. But still, this is really dope, super informative. I'm going to jump off of that. I'm going to show y'all one thing that I'm highly interested in. This might be a little left because it's not about Los Angeles, but it's something that I've been thinking about for a very, very